our main reason also for giving you this update today is to give you a bit of a roadmap out of COVID.
Yay!
Which is good.
Restrictions are slowly lifting, so it's very positive, isn't it, Church?
So we're coming to you today on the 15th of May, and as of today, the New South Wales government is lifting some restrictions. So we want to take you through a bit of a 3-step kind of guide, a bit of a roadmap as to how that's going to impact our church. And we want to step you through that. So it will take a little bit of time this morning, hopefully not too long. But
I'm a fast talker, we can get through it.
So Tara's going to...
And we've mirrored it kind of off the federal roadmap.
Yes.
Taking into account that each state, so we're in New South Wales, has its own interpretation.
Yes.
And obviously everything's subject to the health guidelines and our government requirements. So
for example, we might, start off in stage 1 and then make it to stage 2, but then there are some concerns about too many community outbreaks, so they may step it back a little bit to contain that. And what that does, it creates a bit of uncertainty for us because, as we all know, we meet in a local government community hall. And so it is difficult for us to work in with that. If we had our own building, which is obviously a strong possibility, we're moving towards that, we could have a little more flexibility to be able to use that space as we need it, to be able to set it up in such a way to, conform with guidelines. So for the moment, we are in a little bit more limbo than say maybe some other churches who aren't in our situation, but my hope is as we continue to give to our Build to Reach, as we head towards that total, as we can renovate that building and move into it, that we'll be able to have more certainty in these times. But we will make the best of it. Yeah. Yes.
So step 1, community halls are still closed in New South Wales. And so we're in phase 1 or step 1 at the moment. And this just does limit our ability to gather together on a Sunday. So we're going to continue meeting online and doing face-to-face pastoral care, which we're busy doing, and we've had the privilege to catch up with many of you. And I know that the Connect Group leaders also are doing a fantastic job, as are just all of you who are taking your own initiatives to connect with each other as you feel comfortable, and it's really good to see.
And we're seeing some great answers to prayer in this season and great provisions, people getting housing, people getting jobs when they've lost jobs. So God's answering prayers, we're really confident. So in this first stage, we'll continue to meet via Zoom in our small Connect groups. Yeah. And in this stage as well, we can begin to open it up to visitors. So something Tara and I are going to do, we can have to our home. Now, our home is a little bit different to many of yours because ours is regarded as an office or
place of work.
A place of work. So
we're officially allowed 10 people at our place of work for religious gatherings, though the norm is 5 visitors per household. So for instance, if you were to gather with 5 visitors to a home, so it might be the Garvin family invite 5 people to their home on a Sunday. You could have a watch party and watch church together, or you might invite 5 people to your home for your Connect group and Zoom in the other Connect group members.
Yeah.
So no more than 5 visitors per household, though at our home we are actually allowed 10 because it is considered a place of work. Yeah. So we're going to take advantage of that, and where we can gather those that feel comfortable to be in groups of up to 10 people, and respecting people who aren't comfortable with that yet. So we'll let you know if we've invited you to come over.
And so our
if
goal,
there's going to be more than 5 people here, so you're able to make that decision for yourselves.
So we've divided up the whole church into some smaller groups, and so over the next few months, we're going to be able to invite you over.
Well, next few weeks, yeah.
Yeah, well, starting next Thursday, we're going to be inviting groups of 5 and 6, anywhere up to 10, to our house, to just share in a meal, potluck dinner, and we'll have some prayer and some fellowship together. And then we'll get a new group of 7 to 10 in the next fortnight. And so,
and that's just what's happening at our home. But then there's all the wonderful Connect groups, and I know that Brave is still meeting online.
We're going to start Real Men again in this season.
Yeah, we're excited that we are able to begin to see some of you face to face and have the opportunity to be able to connect in that way, which will be really great. If your Connect group wants to gather outdoors in a public place, you are allowed to have up to 10 people in phase 1. Yeah. So you may meet, sort of picnic style, or get your takeaway coffees. And I know the family Connect group, that's something that we might think about doing and gathering together, those that want to get together. And
now, obviously, in this first step as well, in this stage 1, we'll continue to run church online.
Yes.
So that's a given. We will do that. We will continue to do face-to-face pastoral care. In this season, though, if you can get to someone's house to watch that online service, that's what we're talking about. That's a preference. So we're hosting one here at our home. The Garvins are. I know Mel and Craig Stevens are. There's talk of others doing that as well. So reach out if you're not in a Connect group, or you would like to come to a home on a Sunday to be part of that. Please reach out. You've got our numbers, or message us via Facebook or something as well.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's stage 1. Once we hear
stage 2,
once we hear from the government about,
I don't think it's going to take long actually to go from stage 1 to stage 2.
Maybe in a few weeks, maybe a month at the most.
So
stage 2. Why don't you talk?
Look, they will open community halls and cafes, though it will only be for gatherings of up to 20, and still, of course, with social distancing. So we will continue in this phase to have church online with our online watch parties where you can gather in homes. But we will resume all Connect groups because gatherings are going to increase from 10 people to 20. So, for instance, that means the worship team, where there's 16 members in that team, are able to meet in the community hall. Brave women, usually there's between 10 and 20 women, again with the men.
Yes.
We'll resume youth group in stage 2. We get up to 20 youth on a Friday night. So although church will stay online, our Sunday services will stay online, a lot of our Connect groups and throughout the week will be able to meet in person.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll still keep the Zoom option for those that can't make it along. There might be 10 of you gathered together and 3 are Zooming in. And I think this is probably just going to be a bit of a new way of life, actually.
Yes, because even once we do, even like after stage 3 and we're meeting back in community halls, there's still going to be rules around social distancing of at least 1.5 metres. There is the 4 square metre rule, though, indoors. So it just kind of makes it a little bit complicated. So please extend us some grace. We're trying to think of creative ways to meet and gather and bless you in this season.
So, the thing to remember is stage 1 is 10 people. Stage 2 is 20 people.
Yeah.
So that really opens it up for our Connect groups and smaller gatherings of people.
Yeah.
Just a note on the church camp, because every year we've really enjoyed a time together in the July school holidays for those that have been able to come along. It's a fantastic time of connection and relaxation around fire and just the outdoors. And so, look, campgrounds do open in stage 2, where you are allowed gatherings of up to 20 people. So if the campgrounds are open, we may still proceed with that church camp.
Yeah, I think that.
So we just thought we'd put that out there, plant the seed in your mind.
It's the first week of the school holidays, so from Sunday the 5th of July, we usually go down in the afternoon after church, and we potentially come back on Saturday the 11th of July. So for those who are open to smaller gatherings and want to go camping together, and we could meet up in groups of 20 potentially within the campgrounds in different groups, and there's cabins and tent and caravan kind of facilities. Then we can potentially do that. So we'll play it by ear. So obviously during this season, we'll continue to do church online in stage 2, and we'll continue to do face-to-face pastoral care. For those who still may feel vulnerable, or you've got extended family that are vulnerable and you don't want to place any risk on them, we can still do online and face-to-face pastoral care. There'll be Thursday nights. We'll continue in that phase doing some potluck dinners at our house, and so we'll continue with that as well. So what about stage 3, Tara?
Stage 3. Woohoo! This is where it increases from 20 people to 100. And this is when we would think about resuming Sunday services. Now, in order to maintain really good social distancing, we feel like in the space that we hire, it would be best to have 2 one-hour services. So that we don't have 60 people within close proximity to each other. We may have, you know, I'm just guessing, 30 people come to the 9 a.m. service, 9 to 10 a.m. And then we would have another service at 10:30 to 11:30. And at that crossover, we may be able to mingle, you know, spill out into the outdoor area and see people who had been at the earlier service, but you've come to the later service. So our aim is to resume face-to-face Sunday meetings, though in the initial stages, we would probably have 2 one-hour services. And, of course, all this is
subject.
It's our aim, it's our goal. We may not need to do that. We may be able to just go back to 1 service. We'll keep you posted. But this is our thought process, and we just wanted to keep you in the loop.
So obviously all connect groups and focus groups and youth and worship
would continue.
They'll continue in that phase, and they'll open up to be able to potentially include more people. Obviously we're going to be taking advice from the state and federal governments, and obviously local council have a say in this because they operate the community halls. So we're not sure yet, once halls do open,
which is phase 2,
what kind of restrictions the local government might also put on that. So obviously in the back of my mind and in my heart, I'm thinking, okay, Lord, how do we move things forward? Now, obviously, like you, we are continuing to give financially to our Build to Reach pledge, and that's starting to climb steadily. And so I just encourage you, in this season, we are full of vision, reaching people, transforming lives. We want to, in these 3 stages that we've outlined for you today, continue to reach those goals and aim for them as quickly and as efficiently and as safely as we can. And so we hope today that this has brought you a bit of clarity. Also remember that all of our material will continue to remain online for services and meet face-to-face for pastoral care through all 3 stages. And any material is going to be backed up to our YouTube channel, so that if you miss something, or if for some reason you don't feel safe fellowshipping face-to-face, you can always get access to it there. And so we're continuing to pray that God give us favour in this season. Remember your Build to Reach commitment along with your tithes. And, you know, my aim is that we will get our building very soon. That's something we're going to be working towards in this season as well.
Beautiful.
So, wonderful. Good to talk with you. And we'll
sorry we took
soon.
a bit long, but, you know, good to fill you in. And, you know, let's just pray that as these restrictions lift, that everyone remains in good health. And I'm just going to pray the Lord's safety over us.
Why don't we do that now?
All right, Heavenly Father, I just pray over our community.
Yes, Lord.
Lord God, our broader community and our church community. And I just pray that you would, as we begin to reconnect and to gather in the flesh.
Yes, Lord.
And our communities start to come back to life. Businesses opening, schools, churches, connect groups. Father, that your hand of protection, Father, would just be on our nation, on our community.
Yes, Lord.
Lord, and I pray your blessing over us in Jesus' name.
And our leaders, Lord.
Amen.
In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Bless you, and we'll talk soon. Bye.